Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Late Winner Show. We are happy today, I guess I should say. As a United fan, I'm happy for the last one and a half week. Would you agree, Chris?
Yeah, I would definitely agree as well.
Yeah. But yeah, today we are here to discuss the game between Man United and Arsenal, just to give some reaction on the game. And Ranić is actually going to come in on Sunday on the touchline. He's going to be managing against Crystal Palace. Just heard some breaking news that Carrick is actually resigned from the first team as the first team coach. So I guess there's some mixed feelings about that, like Ranić coming in and Carrick leaving as well. And obviously we sacked Ole a couple of weeks ago as well. So there's some mixed feelings. But to discuss all that, I have an avid Manchester United fan who's been on the show more than a couple of times now, Chris Williams. Hi, Chris. How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. And yeah, it was a good win today, so I'm excited to discuss it.
Yeah. Before we do get into the discussion, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Late Winner Show. Give us a like; it definitely helps us with the YouTube algorithm, and give us a follow on the Twitter and Instagram for all kinds of football news that's been happening around the world. Chris, let's get started. United won 3-2. Ronaldo scored 800th career goal. He did it again, man. He did it again. Like, a lot of discussions were happening before the game, and even when he was benched in the Chelsea game. Ranić coming in. I don't know how that's going to work out with Ronaldo. Definitely does not. He doesn't press and all that stuff, but he proved his worth again.
Yeah, I mean, he's Cristiano Ronaldo. He's always going to prove his worth, isn't he? And who knows? Maybe he came out a little bit upset with a chip on his shoulder, with something to prove after the Ballon d'Or votes in next place. So yeah, he definitely came out. He proved himself. I mean, he doesn't have to prove himself because he's already indisputably one of the greatest players of all time, maybe
Yeah.
even the best. So yeah, he came out just on fire. We saw the return of Bruno Fernandes, and not the return from injury, but just the return to his normal form. Bruno looked on top of it, and I was even surprised. For the past 2 seasons, I haven't thought that Fred has played rather well at all, but I thought that Fred was pretty darn good today. And he's
Yeah.
continuing a very decent run of form that started with the Villarreal game last week. So I'm excited to see what Rangnick can do with Fred and maybe develop him into, a really, really integral piece of his team. So yeah, really good all around win. I was also really happy to see Diego Dallo
Mhm.
not only get the start but play really well as well. I thought he was fantastic. So yeah, just a great overall team win from United. Some players who look a little out of form. I mean, we'll see if Renick decides to drop him and bring some other players into the team. But nevertheless, you got to be happy with the win against Arsenal.
Definitely. What did you what was the change that you saw? I know I saw a lot of the changes in terms of like how the team was actually playing. What changes do you see in from the Watford game that we lost to the Villarreal game to the Chelsea game and now the Arsenal game? Because I guess like Carrick did an I wouldn't say he did an exceptional job. I think he did a decent job to
Yeah.
just carry the team for the next three games because the interim manager was basically imminent. It was probably announced last week around Thursday or Friday that Ranić has signed a deal. It was just work permit stuff and getting all the stuff from Lokomotiv Moscow, where he was sporting director over there. What changes did you see from in these three games compared to the last 2 months that we've been terrible?
Yeah, so you definitely saw that they didn't sit back as much.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Specifically in today's game, they didn't sit back and just let Arsenal come at us. We played some good attacking football, which is exciting to see as a Manchester United fan, because the past 2 or 3 years under Solskjaer, it was sit back and then counter, and it was just wait for your spectacular moment to come. Whereas today they really kind of controlled the game and they won, which was really nice to see. The Chelsea game was a little frustrating in the first half because we really let Chelsea dominate, and they had a lot of decent chances. And if we don't have David De Gea in net, I mean, Chelsea probably could have pulled off a win.
Yeah.
But it was just a more organized team structure, which was nice to see in the Chelsea game. And when we countered, we countered. Like you saw that Jadon Sancho goal. Like that's just classic Manchester United, just pouncing on them. So that was really nice. And I mean, I wouldn't really look too into how United played these past 3 games under Michael Carrick because it's all going to change under Rangnick.
Yeah.
We know that Rangnick hasn't had any contact with any of the players or anything, well, according to Bruno Fernandes in today's post-game press conference. Yeah. So I wouldn't say that anything that Michael Carrick did would be reflected under Ralf Rangnick. But you definitely saw some improvement from Solskjaer to Carrick. And I'm just excited to see some more further improvement under Rangnick for the next 6 to 7 months.
Yeah, players definitely improved. I saw, and you and me have obviously discussed on the pod about Fred McTominay. I would still say McTominay was shit. I did not like his game at all. But yeah. Fred has been really, really good in these last 2 games. I think I saw him, press, getting to the player to actually, win the ball back, which we did not see at all. Like it was all lethargic performances. Against Chelsea, they dug deep, to take out a draw. Obviously, a lot of the people that I talked to after the Chelsea game, they were not happy with the United game and were like, yeah, United never deserved to, get a draw out of it or anything like that. I would say, and I'm not saying this as a United fan, but I would say it was a good result given the performances that we've had, given the defensive performances that we've had. It was. I always said it on the pod, like before even previewing the game. I just don't want another annihilation. Given how Chelsea have been playing these last 3 months basically since the start of the Premier League, it was a really, really good result to go to Stamford Bridge and actually get out a draw. That's a great point. Great point for us. For this particular game, I still saw a lot of the holes. Harry Maguire still didn't look up to the mark. I still feel I don't know what's gone wrong with him. I still feel that Carrick should have dropped him, even though if he was available. I still feel like if he is the captain, I still feel like manager still makes the final decision. And if he feels the captain is not doing enough for the team to win or to make sure that everyone is on the same page, I think he should have dropped him, because I don't think 𝗏𝗏 or Lindelof did a terrible job in the previous game to be dropped. Obviously 𝗏𝗏 did not do a bad job to be dropped in this game. What did you make of all that?
Yeah, so I think that Victor Lindelof for the past couple of games has actually been really solid. I know last season, if you go back to my pod or just to my tweet or anything, I wasn't very happy with Victor Lindelof. I think that him and Harry Maguire just don't complement each other very well. And last year, I used to think that Harry Maguire was the more solid player, and now this year, I think that Lindelof is. But I definitely think that Victor Lindelof has given Ralf Rangnick something to think about in the past couple of games. And Eric Bailly as well played exceptionally, like you were saying as well. But yeah, Harry Maguire just out of form. He's cost his team, multiple goals, multiple games, you can say. So it'll be interesting to see what Rangnick does. If he, hopefully Varane can come back soon, and that'll make things even more interesting, because you'll have Varane in there automatically, and then you just have to find his partner in crime right next to him. So I'm interested to see how that defensive battle kind of works out. But I was really happy to see, Tellez get a chance, to see Dalot get a chance. I think Tellez, now that he's played a couple games, has gotten into really good form. And it just goes to show that, this thing that Solskjaer was doing, where he would just put in players for one game and then drop them for a multiple number of games after that, or put players on for 5 minutes and expect them to, light up the whole entire field. That doesn't work. You need to give players a chance to really, work off all the rust and really get going and build off their momentum. And I think Alex Tellez has definitely done that. And that's why I was so surprised by Diogo Dalot's performance, because he came in not having played in such a long time, and I think he was superb.
His
So
first start since October 2019. So
yeah, in the
basically,
league. Yeah, exactly. So I was thrilled to see how well he played.
yeah.
But yeah, like you were saying about Fred, yeah, he's just, it seems like Carrick kind of gave him a license to like push forward and press more, and we're seeing that he can really press. And when he presses, the opponent usually makes a mistake. We saw that in Villarreal, and we saw that today as well. And he ended up drawing a beautiful penalty, making a run in behind and into the box. So yeah, just really impressive from the backs, from Fred, from Victor Lindelof. Not so much from Harry Maguire. I mean, he didn't really put a foot wrong today, but
Yeah.
I think we all know who the real captain is in that team. I see Cristiano Ronaldo, and if it's not Cristiano Ronaldo, it's Bruno Fernandes. So even without the armband, so we'll see what Rangnick does. I just think that that's not something that Michael Carrick wants to do with his 3 games in charge, is change the captain.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, but how would you assess Carrick's interim reign for these 3 games? I think, again, and I said it, nobody should be carried away. No, even the United board shouldn't be carried away saying, oh yeah, I'm really happy that now that Rangnick is going to come in with his own coaching staff, with his mentality and everything. He decided that yes, I think it's time that this is the best thing for Manchester United, that I step down, and I shouldn't be associated with anything, because my project was with Ollie, and he's gone. I should go down as well. I think that's a very good decision, because and I'm happy that the United board actually found someone who can actually build some tactics within this team. I still feel, I think top 3 is already gone. I don't even want to talk about it. They're performing at some other level. Those 3 teams. I still feel like in England at this time, given the number of easy fixtures that we have for the next 2 months, I think we can easily nick out about 12 to 13 wins from that next 15 games. We're still the fourth best team in the Premier League with this squad. I think the only thing that we need is, again, like some tactics within the team, to know a manager who can tell each player what your responsibility is within this team. I think Rangnick is going to do a good job, obviously, because he is a proven manager. It's not like he's not done anything in his past, and that's the reason that United have gotten. There are doubts, obviously. People have been saying that it's going to be the same thing for Manchester United, because he doesn't have any experience in the Premier League. I mean, that's all. I think that's all bullshit. Just because you said, you didn't say the same thing about when Tuchel came in, because he did not have any experience in the Premier League. He hadn't won anything with Borussia Dortmund. He hadn't done anything with that PSG team. I still say at this moment, I know we shouldn't talk about PSG in this podcast, but I still say at this point of time, Tuchel's road to the final was a lucky one, because it was a one-legged affair in all of those games. If there were any 2-legged games in that Champions League campaign, I don't think Tuchel would have reached the final. And then that hype that he got, that he is a Champions League finalist, I don't think he would have gotten. He's doing amazing over here in Chelsea. Not going to take anything away from him, but I just still feel like he is a little bit overrated. It's a matter of that one result where everything can just go down for him as well. So
yeah, and I don't want to touch on this too much, because we're talking about Man United. But no, I think Thomas Tuchel is a fantastic manager, and I still think they would have won Champions League. So I don't necessarily agree with that. And I don't think that he's overrated at all. I really don't. I still don't even think I think he actually might be underrated, to be fair. But yeah, that's just my opinion on Thomas Tuchel.
No, that's fine. Totally cool. But yeah, like coming to Rangnick, what do you think? Given all the stuff that I just mentioned, what do you think that he will bring tactically to United, and how this team can be set up? Because I saw a couple of instances within the game when the players were actually trying to push, and the tactic that he brings is like, when you're off the ball, you need to win the ball back within 8 to 10 seconds. That's his thing. You never pass the ball back. You always move front. And when you move front, you need to attack. You need to have a shot on goal within the 6 to 8 seconds or something like that. Do you think United have that team to have that philosophy? And what else needs to change within this team to get what Rangnick wants to do with this team?
Well, I mean, I can already tell you that they do have that team to do that because their first goal was scored within 8 seconds of getting the ball back. Bruno's first goal. United won the ball. Found Bruno in the box. He scored. And so there you go. There you go. And Fred has even shown it, like we've been saying. He presses. He wins the ball back. Ronaldo scores that chip in the Champions League against Villarreal. So yeah, United does have that team. Now it's just finding the correct pieces in order to, play that pressing kind of style. I think Donny van de Beek 100% has to play over Scott McTominay. High energy player. He knows how to press. He's kind of done the same thing with Ajax in the past. So he knows how to play that role, and I think he'll do it superbly as well. You need wing backs that can really get forward and can really get back. And 𝗕𝗲𝗃𝗍 has shown it. And Diogo Dalot showed it as well. And they're both known for whipping in crosses because they started out as wingers, right?
Yeah.
So they can really get forward. And, 𝗕𝗲𝗃𝗍 can still be, a little so-so defensively. And that's where I think Luke Shaw is better. But, I think going forward, 𝗕𝗲𝗃𝗍 can really give Luke Shaw a run for his money and even for his starting position. And I think that Dalot will receive a chance to really compete with Aaron Wan-Bissaka because the one area of Wan-Bissaka's game that he lacks is going forward, on the ball, crossing, and Diogo Dalot can do all of that because he was originally a winger that was converted into a right back. So I think that we have all the right pieces. And the biggest piece, Cristiano Ronaldo, everyone's saying, how is he going to do under Ralf Rangnick? He has no work ethic. He won't track back. He tracks back. You can see it sometimes during games. When he gets frustrated and when he knows the team needs it, he tracks back. And, he might not win the ball, but, seeing that effort from Cristiano Ronaldo to track back and press and whatnot, should really inspire the rest of the team to do it. So I think we have the right pieces. It's just, Rangnick taking over training tomorrow, seeing how the boys play. And then on Saturday, maybe seeing, okay, I saw this guy play, I saw this guy play. I want to see how you guys train today. And then we'll pick a team that I think is going to be different from what we've seen under Carrick, under Solskjaer. And I'm just really excited to see a change at Manchester United. I really am. A change of the style of play and a change in the personnel. It's time for a fresh start with someone who hasn't been involved in the club, doesn't have favorites ready. And I'm kind of happy that we're kind of, bringing in new assistants as well, because we won't have that sort of favoritism that keeps players like Donny van de Beek and Jesse Lingard on the bench, So I'm just really excited to see how Rangnick does.
That is something that I exactly think. I echo your point because I feel like all this stuff about having ex-legends in the dressing room, I just feel like that's ruining, our growth. Whatever Ollie did, he did really well. But hey, there was no tactic for the last 3 years. I never saw any tactic on the field. We were winning, and that's why we were getting overshadowed, and that's it. Like there was no system where you could say that this is the system that United plays.
Yeah, and the only tactic was to sit back and then let some good moments happen. That's why some people call us Moments FC or Vibes FC, because that's basically what it was. When the vibes were good, the vibes were good. When the vibes were bad, it was a terrible time.
We used to go. We used to just go in games. Just let's see what happens. And when there was a goal against us, we were like, okay, now we need to do something. And then we just used to play like a team. And again, like those individual brilliant moments that we had in the last couple of years again under Ollie. But hey, I'm not gonna complain. I'm not gonna sit here and barrage Ollie. I think he did a good job, but I think it's time for him to go. Somebody else takes over. A good coach takes over this talented team and takes them to the heights that we want them to. Obviously, we expected, as United fans, we expected based on the signings that we were going to have a title fight, even if we finished fourth. That's out of the window for sure. I don't think City, Chelsea, or Liverpool are going to drop that many points that United can get back into the titles. I think we're still 12 points behind Chelsea at the moment. It just feels too far away. But again, as I mentioned, for the next couple of months, we have a very, very, very good run in terms of fixtures. If we can win at least 13 out of those 15 fixtures, I think we have a really good chance. I am not saying that City, Liverpool, and Chelsea are going to win every year. I think Liverpool already have their issues with injuries. Chelsea. City already don't have Pep already said that he's not going to have a lot of the players available for this congested December fixture list. And then we all know that the main players in the Liverpool team are going to go for that AFCON. So it's there to capitalize on. But I guess the gap is just too much to go and actually figure that out, because again it's starting afresh again on Sunday under a new manager. Even though I saw some kind of hints that there was some kind of tactic that was thrown from Rangnick to Carrick. I just felt that just based on how I've read about what Rangnick does, and then what United were doing in these last couple of games. So just feels like there was some kind of coaching stuff that was provided to Carrick, and the players actually adapted to that. So talking briefly talking a little bit about Arsenal as well. Like how well did you think that they did? It just feels like if United's defense was a United defense, I just don't see Arsenal scoring. I think both first goal was just bizarre for me. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't think it should have been allowed as a goal. And then the second one, obviously, it's again a defensive mistake. But you can clearly see Arsenal are good, but still way behind the beach of the Premier League top players or top teams, because they haven't scored any goals against Liverpool, City, or Chelsea in this season. They scored a couple of goals, but as I said, those are all I still say that one was a defensive mistake, one was a bizarre goal for me. So, what did you make of Arsenal performance?
I didn't think they were particularly superb. They didn't blow me away at all. I used to watch Arsenal under Arsene Wenger, and used to be like, wow, that's a pretty decent team that they have. I didn't think they were too great today. I didn't come into this game necessarily concerned or worried that they were going to beat Man United. And the first goal is something you never really see happen before. De Gea making the most of his injury probably, and staying down when the ball is in your box. It was just crazy. I think fortunate for that to happen. And then, a well-worked second. But again, it's kind of a weak shot by Martin Odegaard that kind of trickles past, a couple players and then past a he probably screened, and his vision was probably blocked a little bit for that.
Mm-hmm.
But there just wasn't necessarily any passages of play that really blew me away from Arsenal. They're definitely a much better team than they were at the beginning of the season. That's for sure. I haven't watched enough of Arsenal to really tell you this is a big difference from what it was at the beginning of the season. This specific thing changed. They have Martin Odegaard doing this, or they have this guy doing that. So I haven't watched enough to really speak on that. But they weren't so impressive as a lot of Arsenal fans are kind of making them out to be right now, because they've been in a decent form.
Yeah, I think Arsenal are going to finish fifth for sure. I think they can challenge for that fifth spot. Obviously Antonio Conte is doing good now. I think they're a couple of points outside top four at the moment. So there is definitely now that United went on that terrible run, they just have to make sure that they stamp authority and take that fourth spot, because I really don't want to see any of these big name players play in the Europa League next year. I really still see that they are made for that Champions League nights. Even if we get knocked out in the round of 16, but I still feel like we deserve to be in the Champions League based on the team quality that we have. Arsenal are playing well. I think they will defeat the likes of Newcastle, Norwich, Southampton, all these mid-table teams, Everton. Just don't see them winning right now against the bigger sides unless Arteta can find more players that can impact the team in the winter transfer. I just don't feel like the number of and the amount of money that Arsenal has already spent in this summer transfer. I don't think they're going to make any transfer, barring any major injuries that happen in the next month or so. But I guess they're a decent team, as you correctly pointed out. Like based on what the season started as, they're a decent team to be playing against. So yeah, but that's it from our side. I think I hope that I see a different kind of United against Crystal Palace on Sunday. The main takeaways from that game for me would be how United press and how United play as a tactic, as a team, as a tactical unit. And then I would like to see some kind of defensive performances, because I've really not seen anything in the last 2 months to say, yeah, this is a good team. As long as, again, if Rangnick can figure out something that can be done from 𝗕𝗲𝗪, I guess we can go and talk about it as well. But I really don't see. I think he's lacking, like he's lacking some confidence in his game right now. He just can't figure out what he needs to do to uplift his game. I think what you pointed out earlier in the podcast, Varane coming back should definitely help him a little bit. And I think his projected date is Crystal Palace against Crystal Palace. I think we might see him maybe on the bench, but I guess I'm not very sure if he's going to play that game. But he should be back on the bench, I think so. So yeah, but thank you, Chris, again. Thank you so much for joining on the Late Winner Show, providing your thoughts on the game and what's next for our club, our love, Manchester United. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Late Winner Show for loads of United content and football content that's going to come up in this busy festive fixture period. Follow us, give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter. All the links for Chris's podcast are in the links and description below. And I think that's it. Chris, good night, and I'll see you again.
Good night. Thank you so much.